Hello everyone. I hope you all are well at home. So today we are going to start the new chapter of physics, that is human eye and the colorful world. Okay, so I think you all have studied about this human eye in your previous classes. In class 8 you have studied about this. So here advanced level of this we are going to discuss. So now move to the next slide of human eye. So here it is. Okay, so as you all know that the human eye is spherical in shape. It is spherical in shape, but there is a slight bulge in the front part, that is cornea, and this bulgy portion is cornea. Cornea is a transparent layer of the eye which protects our eyes from external injuries also. And as this cornea continues towards the back side, it takes the name as sclera or sclerotic layer. Okay, what comes next after cornea is iris and the pupil. Now let me show you another picture because it is not clear in this one. Okay, so here in this, can you see this blue portion here? This part, this is your iris. As the light rays enter from cornea actually it acts as a reflecting surface from which almost all light reflects and pass through pupil, and then it passes through lens. Okay, so almost all the reflection takes place at cornea. After cornea, the light rays travel through pupil. Okay, pupil actually the middle portion of iris. It is nothing. It is just a hole between iris. Iris is in the shape of a ring. Okay, can you see this? This is the side portion. This is the side view of the eye. Iris is actually a ring. So there is a hole in between which is known as pupil. Okay, so now the next will be iris is actually the one which gives a color to your eye. You might have seen the brown color, green color eyes or the black color eyes. This is because this is the color of the iris. Okay, so then comes your lens. What comes next? Next is the lens. After going through pupil, the light rays falls on this lens, and then this convex lens. You can see the shape here. This is a convex flexible lens. Actually, it is flexible because it means for every kind of light, whether the object is kept near to the eye or it is kept at infinity or far from eye. Okay, so it need to adjust its focal length in order to make a proper image on retina or on the screen. So for that, this lens is flexible in nature. Okay, so then light rays enters through it and passes through the lens and forms the image on retina. Okay, now how this lens adjusts its focal length? This is because of this ciliary body. This ciliary muscles helps the relaxation and contraction of this lens. When the ciliary muscles relax itself, the size of this increases and the lens becomes thin. And as these ciliary muscles contract, the size of this become thick. And what else controls it? Let me show you in another figure. What is this actually? Do you know that? This is actually the suspensory ligament. What is this? This is suspensory ligament. This suspensory ligament holds the lens in its place, and these ciliary muscles is responsible for the contraction and the relaxation of this lens, for the flexibility of this lens. Then after lens, what comes next? Next comes your retina. Retina means the screen. Okay. So this ciliary body is responsible for the contraction and relaxation or the flexibility of this lens with the help of this suspensory ligament which hold the lens in its place. Okay. Then after the rays passing through this lens, it forms the image at retina. This yellow portion you can see in the figure. This is actually retina. Okay. The screen of the eye where the image is formed. After this retina, there is choroid. What is choroid? Choroid actually a layer which protects the internal reflections. okay, because the image has to be formed on retina. So there should be a dark portion, that is choroid, which protects, means which provides a proper surface for the image to form, so that no internal reflection takes place. Okay, otherwise the person will not be able to see properly, images will be blur for them. Okay, and after that, you know, this white layer is a sclera or the sclerotic layer. Here it is mentioned in this figure. Okay, now what is this macula? Macula actually is that portion which contains the rod cells, cone cells. Okay, that means retina only, it's a part of retina only which contains the rods and cone cells. Now what are rod and cone cells? Rod cells are the ones which are light sensitive, so they will tell you the light, the bright and the darkness. Okay, they'll enable you to see the things in light and dark. And what are cone cells? Cone cells are actually color sensitive, they will tell you the color of the objects. Okay, with the help of these cone cells only, you are able to distinguish between the different colors. When a person is unable to distinguish between different colors, you can say that this condition is known as color blindness. Sometimes it happened for the purple color, people used to say that this is blue, of a blue color this is purple. So sometimes it happens with a person when he or she is not able to distinguish between the colors, and that disease, that problem is known as color blindness. Okay, so and what about rod cells? Rod cells are the light sensitive cells which enables us to see in dim light actually, like nocturnal animals which hunt during night. They can see their prey clearly because they have large number of rod cells in their eyes as compared to human beings. Human beings have less. I'll show you an example here just to distinguish between the rod cells and the cone cells. Let me show you the another slide for that. Can you see the objects present here? This is a picture taken in dark. You can see the two objects kept here. One is this one and another one is this one. Can you identify the colors of this? No, but you can see the two objects are there. Now in this case, which kind of cells are working? Rod cells. They are light sensitive. They will allow you to see in dark. Okay, in dim light your eyes are working, but you are not able to distinguish it. Let me show you the one taken in light. Now this is the picture taken in light. Now this is color sensitive. Now in this case your cone cells are working. So when you enter in a dark room, you will not be able to see the things properly. You will not be able to distinguish between the colors. But as you enter in light, you will be able to distinguish between the colors of the two. Is that clear to you now? The difference between the rod cells and the cone cells. Rod cells are the one which allow you to see in dim light, but cone cells are active during daylight only. Okay, so only when there is light you will be able to distinguish between the colors. अंधेरे में जब हम रूम में एंटर करते हैं तो you are not able to distinguish between the colors, but when you will enter in light you will simply be able to distinguish between the colors of the objects. Now move to the next point, blind spot. Okay, now images are formed, that we have discussed, images formed at retina. Now there is one point where no image is formed, that is the blind spot. What is that spot? These are the optic nerves. Can you see this? These are the optic nerves which send the electrical signals, the converted light signals into electrical signals, and these electrical signals are shared through optic nerve to our brain. Then our brain is used to recognize the type of image. Okay, so from where this starts, at this point only, this very point where this retina is connected to this optic nerve, at this very point only there is blind spot. Whenever an image is formed at this blind spot, you will not be able to see that image. Okay, so blind spot is actually that part of the eye where no image is formed. It is the part of retina where the optic nerve leaves the eyeball. यहाँ से eyeball से, this is our complete eyeball से यहाँ से optic nerves निकलती हैं. It is that point, blind spot. At this point no rod or cone cells are present. So if no rod or cone cells are present, no image will form through it. Okay, Hence, image formed at this point is not visible and therefore this point is known as blind spot. Next comes your yellow spot. Do you know what is yellow spot? Actually, it is that this is only your fovea, this yellow spot. It is a point on retina at which only cone cells are present. यहाँ पे सिर्फ cone cells present होते हैं and cone cells means which are color sensitive. That is why we have given it a name. Yellow spot lies just behind the pupil on retina. Pupil के just पीछे होता है ये retina पे. We observe any object minutely. अगर हम किसी object को बहुत minutely observe कर रहे हैं, so then its clear and sharp image will be formed at yellow spot. अगर हम किसी object को बहुत minutely read कर रहे हैं, then a clear and sharp image will form at retina. Okay. Then what comes next? Next is your, now two important parts are left to discuss. That is this portion, the area between cornea and the lens, and the area between lens and retina. Actually, this purple portion is your anterior chamber, which is filled with aqueous humor, and this portion between retina and lens is a vitreous body which contains vitreous humors. Vitreous humors, actually it is jelly-like substance which keeps the eyeball in its shape, and it is some watery substance which give the moisture to our eye. Our eyes keeps on moist every time. अगर ये सूखती हैं तो आपको प्रॉब्लम होती है. When there is dryness in your eye, then you will be in problem. That means you will feel itching or something else. So this aqueous humor actually keeps our eyes moistened. Okay, and this jelly-like substance present between retina and lens keeps your eyeball in shape. Clear? Then comes your working of eye. Now, how this eye works? Okay, so from the very beginning I'll start. The light enters through this cornea, then it passes through pupil, then pupil allows the light to fall on lens, and since this is a converging lens, the light rays converge and forms the image at retina. And since this convex lens always forms a real and inverted image, so on retina you will find an inverted image. Okay, but then how we see the objects upright? Because of our brain. This optic nerve passes these electrical signals, convert these light signals into electrical signals, and then it passes this to our brain, and then brain recognizes the things in its actual form. Okay, then the brain makes a proper image, and then you are able to see the things properly or in its upright form. Okay, as you can see in this book, the distance tree is kept. Can you see this the light rays are passing through this convex lens and forming an inverted image at retina, but the brain gets this electrical signal and converts it into its actual form, and then you are able to recognize the things. Then moves to the next topic, that is power of accommodation of the eye. Now, what is power of accommodation? Accommodate means to have one thing or to accommodate one thing. Okay, the ability of the eye lens to see both near and distant objects by adjusting its focal length. As I told you that our lens is flexible in nature, so it can adjust its focal length accordingly. Okay, so the ability of our eye lens to see both near and distant objects by adjusting its focal length is called power of accommodation of the eye. Because our lens used to adjust its focal length just to see both near and distant objects clearly, that property is known as power of accommodation of the eye. The eye lens is composed of a fibrous jelly-like material. As I told you that it is flexible in nature, so its curvature can be changed to some extent by ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles are the one which help to adjust the size of this. Okay, so it contract or relax itself just to change the focal length of the eye lens. Then what comes next is near point or far point. What is near point? Near point is actually the nearest point to which you can read the things properly. Just try to bring a book close to your eye and read it comfortably. The nearest distance at which you can read the book comfortably is the near point of the eye, and the distance up to which you can see the object, like stars you can see clearly in the sky. That means your far point will be infinity, and the nearest point is actually, for a normal eye, it is 25 centimeter. That means up to 25 centimeter you can read the things comfortably. Okay, so that is near point, the minimum distance at which the eye can see objects clearly, and the far point is the farthest distance up to which the eye can see objects clearly, that is infinity. So your range for a normal eye will become 25 centimeter to infinity. Clear? Then move to the next topic, that is defects of vision and their correction. Before that, let me tell you one thing, that this iris used to hold, actually it takes care of the amount of light enters into our eyes. This iris is the one which allows the pupil to contract and relax. Actually, it is the one which maintains the size of this pupil according to the amount of light enters to eye. If more light is there to enter, it contracts its size, and if less light is there, it opens the size of the pupil. You can do this experiment at home. Just listen to me carefully. Just do one thing. When you are at home, just enter into a dark room with your friend. Try to observe the size of the pupil at that very time, and then just go in the open sky when there is sun, or means just do this activity in afternoon time or in the daytime. Enter to light and then see the size of the pupil. You will be able to compare the size between the two. Okay, and then now move to the next one, that is defects of vision. The first one is myopia. Myopia means nearsightedness. The word itself clarifies that the person who is able to see the nearby objects clearly but is not able to see the distant object clearly. In that case, what happens when the object kept at the infinity or very far from the eye, the eye lens becomes short, and because of that its focal length decreases, and it forms the image before retina only. This is retina, but it forms the image here only. So the person is not able to see the things clearly. So for that, what you have to do, we have to increase its range. For that, we need a concave lens. So what kind of lens is required for the correction of myopia is concave lens. Okay, so myopia is a defect of vision in which a person can see nearby objects clearly but cannot see the distant objects clearly because the image is formed in front of retina. It is not forming at retina as in this case. So why this happens? Because it increase in the curvature of the eye lens. Maybe the curvature of the eye lens is thicken itself and it will reduce the focal length, और इंक्रीज इन द साइज ऑफ द आई बॉल, या फिर आई बॉल का साइज बड़ा हो गया है. अगर आई बॉल का साइज बड़ा हो गया है तो इमेज रेटिना से पहले बन जाएगी. द इमेज विल फॉर्म बिफोर रेटिना ओनली एंड इट विल नॉट फॉर्म ऑन रेटिना. Now the word is clear. I am repeating it again. Myopia means nearsightedness. That means the person is able to see the nearby objects clearly, but he cannot see the objects kept at some distance. Okay, move to the next one, that is hypermetropia. What is that? Just opposite of myopia. In this case, there may be decrease in curvature of eye lens. That means curvature थोड़ा छोटा हो गया है, because of which there is a decrease, or maybe the decrease in the length of the eyeball. Eyeball छोटी हो गई है, तो the image will form after retina. Okay, so hypermetropia means far-sightedness. That means person is able to see the things which are kept at far distance. Okay, but he is not able to see the nearby objects clearly. So the image will form after retina. Since the image is not formed on retina, so the image is not clearly visible. So how it can be cleared? It can be cleared with the help of a convex lens, because convex lens is a converging lens. It will converge the rays before only and the image will form at retina. Clear it is? So how it can be corrected? It can be corrected with the help of convex lens. Okay, then there are some other defects. There is one more property, one more defect, that is presbyopia. Now what is this? Sometimes it happens with some people that the person is not able to see both nearby and the distant objects clearly. What will happen in that case? That can be corrected by using bifocal lenses, and that disease is known as presbyopia. It is a defect of vision in old people generally, in which they are not able to see nearby objects clearly due to the increase in the distance of near point. Near point में भी distance उनका increase हो गया है, और this is due to the weakening of the ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles अगर weak हो जाएंगी तो it will not be able to contract and relax, and because of that the flexibility of the lens get disturbed and the person is not be able to see the things clearly. So in that case the person is not able to see both nearby and distant objects clearly. So उस case में हम use करते हैं bifocal lenses, which is consisting of both concave and convex lenses. The upper part is concave for correction of distant vision and the lower part is convex for correction of near vision. That means presbyopia means both myopia and hypermetropia. Okay, let me show you the spectacles used for in case to correct presbyopia. Actually, you might be knowing that kind of lens. You might have seen this kind of lens in which this portion is different from this one. There is a slight semicircle lens in this complete one. That means this is bifocal lens. Bifocal lens means both the focal lenses are there, both concave and convex lenses are there. Let me show you the actual picture of this kind of lens. See, you might have seen this kind of spectacles. This portion is different from this portion, isn't it? You might have seen this. These are known as bifocal lens. So generally the old age people use this kind of specs only, in which both kind of lens are there. Bifocal, convex and concave lenses. Now move to the next topic, some other defects of human eye. The first one is cataract. What is cataract? You might have heard this thing that sometimes it happens that it is visible also in some old age people, that there is a cloud on their eyelids, and sometimes it is visible on the iris also. So cataract is that disease in which the defect of eye in which an opaque layer is formed over the eye lens and the lens becomes cloudy and the vision of eye decreases. The person is not able to see. Then how it can be corrected? It can be corrected by removing the affected lens, means whatever the lens is affected, either of left eye or right eye, it can be corrected by surgery or placing the suitable lens there. So they can do that, but it is quite difficult because many nerve cells are connected to it. So sometimes the surgery means there are very so it is very difficult actually. Otherwise it can be done by surgery. The method is very complex because many nerves are connected to it, so sometimes it gets disturbed also. So sometimes a person has to take many surgeries, have to go through many surgeries because of this only. So cataract is the one in which the lens becomes cloudy and the things becomes blur to the person. And the next one is astigmatism. What is astigmatism? Actually it is that eye defect in which the person is not able to focus on horizontal or vertical lines simultaneously. That may be because of irregular curvature of cornea in different directions. Means the person is not able to see nearby or distant objects clearly, and sometimes he is not able to see the things properly. He is not able to distinguish between the colors even. It is an eye defect in which the person is not able to focus on horizontal and vertical lines simultaneously due to irregular curvature of cornea in different directions. तो अलग अलग directions में जब curvature different हो जाता है तो the person means there is a defect in cornea. the cornea is not proper, the lens or the curve shape is not proper. That is why the person is unable to see horizontal or vertical lines simultaneously. So in this case we use a different kind of lens, that is toric lenses we call that, or cylindrical lenses. And what kind of lens is that? It is shown here actually. Okay, what kind of lens is this? It is a donut shape which is cut, some part of that donut is cut, and this lens with a different optical power and focal length in two orientations. So different orientations are there, different focal lengths are there, because there is a irregular curvature of cornea. So in order to overcome that disease or that problem, there are different focal lengths in two different orientations perpendicular to each other. Okay, one of the lens surface is shaped like a cap from the torus, and the other one is usually spherical. One part is spherical and one part is like a cap. So in this way it used to focus on the things properly when the person is not able to focus horizontal or vertical lines simultaneously. Is that clear to you? Now till here we have completed half of the chapter, and in the next video we are going to discuss about your refraction of light through glass prism and some other uses of light.